Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of Northwoods Cooking. As always, I'm Jake, and today we're back in the garage on the flat top. Menu item today, I guess we'll go ahead and call it cheesesteak roll-ups. Let's get after it. Okay, any good cheesesteak here, you gotta have peppers, onions, and mushrooms. So we're gonna go ahead and give the peppers a good old dicing. So there we go. I cut off the top. Dig the inside out. Then what we're going to do is go ahead and cut this in half. Then just cut relatively thin strips all the way around and kind of rotate with your offhand as you're going through. And these don't all have to be the same thickness. Just roughly, I don't know, I'd say maybe a 1/4 inch or so. All right. So we got half done. Put this in the bowl over here. Then what we can do with the piece of the top here, just cut that off and cut that into strips as well. Then we'll go ahead and do that for this half along with this whole pepper as well. Okay, now that I'm done with the pepper, I'm going to go ahead and slice the onion. And this may be more pepper than I'm actually going to use, because there's just 2 of us here. But otherwise, we'll use the remainder on a salad or a meal later in the week. Cut the skin off the onion here, put that to the side. Then similar to the green pepper, I'm going to slice this fairly thin. Now I did have a thought about cutting these in half like this, but I'm going to see how they cook down, and if needed, I will chop them when we cook them on the flat top here in a couple of minutes. Alrighty, there we go. And then next, we will be slicing the meat. Alrighty, welcome back. I have here just a small chunk, and then here is a larger chunk of meat. And this is elk steak that I threw on the smoker yesterday because I wanted to see how it turned out. And this will be the meat for the cheesesteaks today. The key here is to get the meat as thin as possible. Just, as you can see, just paper thin. And although we're using elk steak here today, venison steak, ribeye, any sort of meat product that you can shave super thin, you can do this with. So I'm going to go ahead and finish slicing the meat here, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so now that the flat top's all heated up, I have turned it down to medium, and now we're going to start cooking. As you can see, I have a kettle here with some beans in it. Now we are going to put a little bit of avocado oil on the flat top. Give that a good mix around. And then what we're going to do here is throw the veggies on top. And that is the green peppers that we sliced before, along with some onions and some mushrooms. And it looks like a lot, but I'm thinking it's going to cook down. Thinking and hoping, for that matter. As always, get everything on a nice even playing field so it cooks evenly, cooks faster, and let this ride for, I don't know, a couple minutes, and we'll come back and check on it. Alrighty, so it's been a couple minutes. Went over, had a chat with the neighbor. Give this stuff a little bit of a flip. Oop, lost one there. Starting to get a little brown. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit more. Really looking for the onions and the mushrooms here to sweat a little bit and get some more liquid on. These bigger chunks of mushroom, you can cut them in half. Not something you have to do, but it is a possibility. Same with the peppers. Doesn't work super well with those, as you can see, but fun to have a little bit of a competition with a green pepper every once in a while. And being that the meat is already cooked, I'm not looking to cook that for super long. So I'm going to get the veggies all complete here, and then I'll go ahead and put the meat on to warm it up. Starting to look good. The green peppers are going to need some more time, but that's all right. Alrighty. We will be back in a flash. Alrighty, welcome back. While you were away, I've been constantly rotating the veggies in and out, rotating, just moving them around so it doesn't stick and so they all get a chance to cook equally. Give them a little flip, let them sit for a minute or so, 30 seconds, give it another flip. And now that the veggies are complete, what I'm going to do is move everything to the right side of the griddle here. And that's where I'll also put the meat on top. So that has a chance to warm up. And as you'll see here in a little bit, I'm not totally concerned with getting the meat fully warm on the griddle because of the next step here. So before I put the meat on top of the veggies, I'm going to throw it on, give it a little spread out here. Grab the other spatula. Just so we can get a nice cook on these, get everything warm. Kind of maybe a little bit of a crunchy sear on there. This is a good time to say that if you have a meat slicer, that works way better than doing it by hand. Like I mentioned, I don't want this to really cook, so I'll just keep rotating it a little bit, slide it around. Pretty thin and it's already cooked, so I'm gonna go ahead, throw it on top of the veggies. Now that that's done, I mentioned before that this is gonna be a cheesesteak roll-up, and that's where these come into play. This Lavish Bread, it's called a flatbread. When I think of flatbread, I think of something thicker, but these are good. So what I'm gonna do to get these warm, just throw them on there, give them, I don't know, a minute aside or so. And this is all at medium to low heat. This is looking nice over here. And I'm gonna go just straight to low over here because it's all getting pretty cooked. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna straight up turn that side off and use the residual heat. So now, give these a flip. All right, come over here. Looking good, looking good. Now, I'm gonna try my best to equalize everything here. Get good veggie to meat ratio, which is a little difficult when you incorporate everything, but we'll work through that. And again, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. Never did this before, but had the idea today and figured we'd give her a whirl. Alrighty. Another chunk of meat or two on this one. Looks pretty equal. Got enough extra. Quite a lot extra. Not cooking for an army here. Alrighty. So then, a little bit of a secret ingredient that I think is going to be quite delicious on here is this Mrs. Renfro's nacho cheese dip. So we're just going to go ahead and sprinkle that on here. It's looking pretty good. And you don't necessarily have to use the nacho cheese dip. You can go ahead and use just a standard shredded cheese or a piece of sliced cheese. So now what I'm going to try to do here is roll these up just like that. And the seam on the bottom, I want to keep that down. Try not to burn myself. I'm going to put these, I'm going to shut the burners off here as well. Dog's trying to get in the garage. That's not going to happen for him. In case you were wondering, this is very warm. Then get it seam side down and press it down a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is just let that sit, let everything meld together, and and we're gonna take them inside and enjoy. Beans are looking good. Give those a stir. Off. Everything's off here. Say I'm excited about this, that's an understatement. But there's the process. I'll check back at the end and let you know how it went. Alrighty, so for a little post-meal breakdown, doing this for a second time because I did not get audio on my video beforehand. So first thing that my wife said after her first bite was, wow, you can definitely make these again. My thought was the exact same thing. So two people think something's good, it's good enough for me. I thought it was delicious. She thought it was delicious. So it'll definitely become a regular around here. As far as ingredients, the cheese sauce was Mrs. Renfro's cheese dip, I believe it's called. We had the Lavish Bread flatbreads, which are very good. Then it was 2 sliced green peppers, 1 sliced onion, and a container of sliced mushrooms. Other than that, it was a fantastic meal. As always, I would say please like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.